to the channel. Pretty excited about this video because I actually needed to make new trailing arms for my Honda Talon. Guys, I know we don't do a lot of side-by-side parts. To this day, we only really sell intake kits for the Honda Talon, but we're moving into making chassis components. So we're gonna be doing everything from trailing arms to radius rods to A-arms and all kinds of goodies. But for right now, the task was to take this rectangle tube that, believe it or not, guys, I bent this in 150 miles of riding. I was riding on a motocross track. I'm not gonna lie, I was jumping the hell out of this machine, but this thing is actually curved, so the only thing I could come up with was fire up the milling machines and design a nice billet trailing arm. Now, as you guys know, the Honda Talon has a ball joint in the back, and they actually do have this little guard welded on here. Now, the issue with that is the second that boot gets torn, this ball joint actually will get blown out. So the first task was building an arm that basically held a 1-inch uniball. Now, it's a 1-inch bore on this uniball, and the actual OD of the ball is about 1.5 inches. So it is oversized from the factory one, quite a bit larger. Now, doing that, we have to make a custom stud. So we're gonna make a complete new stud that's gonna be made out of 17.4 heat-treated stainless steel. And that's gonna make the back of this as strong as I'd like it to be. Now, anytime you go with aluminum for a trailing arm or any kind of parts that are on a machine like a Honda Talon, you're gonna wanna run stainless inserts. So we went ahead and we actually designed a nice stainless insert. So we've got that installed on all of the bolt holes. So everything is gonna be shanked correctly. So we've got it on the sway bar link mount, we've got it on the shock hole, and basically the front pivot, we've got the stainless inserts on there too. Now I just wanna show you guys a couple issues with the stock Honda Talon arm. So right here, when you put your shock bolt in, you guys can see it's actually riding on the threads. So this was not shanked properly. So I actually was starting to get quite a bit of wear. Again, 150 miles, guys, the threads are already starting to wear. This hole is actually egging out on the arm, and everything was tight right from the factory. And I'm not knocking them, it's just basic stuff that I wanted to basically improve on. Now let's check the front one. So we got the front bolt right here. Again, it's riding on the threads. It's not shanked correctly. It's unfortunate, but again, that's why we're doing our own custom arm. Because not only do I want to make the thing look badass, but God, I want it to be right. So let's go ahead and check the shock bolt. So everything's shanked correctly. Again, stainless inserts on both sides. And then same deal on the front. Fully shanked. Again, I keep repeating myself, but it is very important, guys, to make a reliable part that's not gonna break. Now, to machine this part, this is out of solid billet aluminum. It's a fairly large part, so to keep the cost down, I opted to make the shock tower, which I'm calling it a shock tower. It more or less just double shears the bracket, kind of like this piece here. So it's the same kind of deal as what they did, only it's not welded, it's bolted. Now, anytime you bolt something on, I mean, you're gonna have the ability for those bolts to shear off. So if you come up closer a bit, I can show you how I combated that. So guys, other than having this just set right into the arm, we've got about 300 thou worth of engagement right here on the bottom. I've also got some dowel pins. So that locks in. And we've got tapered bolts. Again, these are shanked. So this is riding on the aluminum on the inside. That's gonna go in just like that. If you wanna walk around the back side, I can show everybody the hardware on the back here. Now, I could have easily threaded this arm, but I would have had to helicoil it, and I probably wouldn't have trusted it. So guys, I just went ahead. I've got washers with nylon nuts. I feel it's safer to have it just like that. And on top of that, same deal with the shock bolt. And we're gonna have a nut and a washer on the back side, which is this guy right here. So overall, super excited about this. The next step is gonna be getting it on the Honda Talon. You guys can see I have it all apart right here. But I'll go ahead and give you guys a little quick preview of what it's actually gonna look like on here. Now keep in mind, nothing's tight. I'm just excited like a little kid right now. This basically is gonna slip over the stock pivot. Just gonna rest it in there for now. Again, guys, this thing is not ready to go back together. This is my first time installing it. Now, if you're wondering how did I design this without test fitting, I use my 3D scanner. It's amazing what you can do with a 3D scanner. Split it here a couple times, and that's how accurate that 3D scanner is. But man, that looks killer on there. I had to grab the camera, I was so excited. Man, that just looks so different than the stock one. And again, we've got the heavy duty uniball in the back, so I'm excited to see how that holds up. So I'm gonna get this thing finished up. I gotta make one for the other side, but yeah, I can't wait to test this out. And obviously we're gonna do the radius rods in the back like I was saying. Man, that looks killer. In case you guys forgot what the stock one looked like, I know you didn't, but that's the stocker. Just doesn't compare to the billet one. Super trick. All right guys, so let's talk about the radius rods. This video is not about that, but I'm gonna insert some clips as I'm talking. So basically we're doing a high clearance design, similar to the other ones on the market. I just played around with the diameters of the uniball. I wanted the biggest uniball I could fit on there just for strength. And I didn't go too crazy on the high clearance section of the arm because I want to make sure it's super strong too. And yeah, so the final task with the Honda Talon, you guys are probably wondering why I've got dots all over this rear knuckle here. Well, we 3D scanned this in also, and I'm honestly thinking about doing a dual caliper because I want to run a handbrake on this machine. I don't know how the chassis is going to hold up to a handbrake. It can be hard on the driveline on the machine, but I'm going to put one on it because it's my personal machine and just test it out and see how it does. Coming from years of riding ATVs, sport quads, all the fun stuff like that, having that rear brake and being able to slide into corners and just tap that rear brake was huge for me. So I'm hoping I can redesign this whole deal. I also want to do some double shear points on this, guys, because same deal. It's just it's good for trail riding, but you start jumping this thing, and you know, obviously motocross is not what it was designed for, but definitely desert riding and racing and all that fun stuff. You got to get some double shear action on here off of these points here for the radius rods, and possibly for this lower one. I'm not sure yet. I think it's going to be plenty strong with that uniball on there, but we'll see what happens. And of course, nobody likes the clip that goes on here. It's a pain in the ass to change your bearing out. You got to take the whole deal apart. We might do a threaded insert on here with a bearing just to mimic the some of the race ones I've seen on the market. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And if you guys like Honda Talons, definitely comment anything you want to see in the future for these, and let me know what you think, because as you guys know, if you follow me and you know all the other products that we build for the power sports industry, from the big wheels to the trikes to custom ATV parts, we definitely go wild when we build them. So we're gonna build the best parts that we can with the CNC equipment that we have in-house here in the United States of America. It's very important to make your parts in-house. It's fully standby, so everything is, again, machined, fabricated, and built inside our shop. So, all right guys, so if you want info on these trailing arms for the Honda Talon or any of the other parts that I've talked about that are coming in the future, head over to my website, bbcoffroad.com. Sign up for our email list, and we're going to be sending emails out on this, and we'll get you all the info that we can on these badass trailing arms. Anyway guys, we'll see you in the next video.